Hello there, my fellow zombie slayers. What's up? It's Robbie here with Overworld Games, and we are taking a look at the brand new survivor system in State of Decay 2. You know, IGN First recently did a whole reveal about the survivor system, and they showed off some really cool stuff, how to take your character through the ranks, through the progression system. It's all new, all the way up to hero, and then, get this, guys, choosing a leader. And there's different types of leadership roles, and they influence the game in different ways. There's so much good details to go over, so let us begin. So yeah, as some of you already know, State of Decay 2 is all about procedurally generated survivors, and they're generated based off of over 1,000 traits, you know, from shooting, endurance, things that actually make their backstory too. We're going to be diving into that a little bit later in this video. That part is really cool, adds a ton of personality to each survivor and of course the game overall. But what I love about the system is the fact that no two players games are going to be the same, and that's going to be huge for the 4-player co-op game. Remember, again, if you don't know much about State of Decay 2, we're covering it extensively here on Overworld Games. It comes out on Xbox One and PC May 22nd. So yeah, you will be dealing with a wide variety of survivors. As you can see here, all of them are procedurally generated. Some of them are sick, some of them are sleepy, as you can see. Some of them are infected by the zombie plague, so that is not cool. But yeah, basically, you start out as a lower rank, like a citizen, for example. As you can see, the progress bar here for Dion is nearly there, all the way up to, you know, the next rank, which I believe is hero. And then you also will be upgrading your skills, cardio, wits, fighting, shooting, and medicine. And this is specific to, of course, this character, Dion. It's going to be different for every single survivor, of course. And here we are with Xena, who is at the heroic level, and she's going to be influencing the community. Of course, you're going to have your own base. She's going to be offering +1 ammo per day, which is huge. You have to have ammunition, but she's going to want to be upgraded to the next role, which is a leader. Now, you don't have to make her leader of the community. Of course, only one can be the leader of the community. But if she is the leader, she is basically established as a warlord. And we're going to be going over a little bit more about that as well. But you can see what type of bonuses she gives to her community. And you can also basically specialize in the skills over here as well. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. That is really cool. So they've really added a lot to the survivor system. I mean a lot compared to the first State of Decay. So right here, yeah, once you progress her past hero and you're ready to choose your leader, you can choose a warlord who can offer, you know, a better armory, a Spartan Barracks 3, and it's going to boost the morale, and then a fighting gym, so you can better train everyone or train them in stamina and cardio and stuff like that. But there are other options, so you can go with a leader that's really good at building. They're going to be, you know, offering a sniper tower, free sniper cover, luxury barracks with more beds plus morale, and then smaller facilities like a generator. So that's going to be huge for powering everything up. But you can also go with a trader, excuse me, and this is really cool because this opens the option to actually trade with other communities in the game and open that possibility. So that's also pretty new to State of Decay 2 as well. And it's going to be really cool, you know, juggling what you want to do with your leader. And they're going to become an extremely important character. So remember, there's permadeath in this game. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind. If you've progressed your character so far and you witness them die, it's going to be a huge hit to your morale, I think, as a gamer, for sure. But yeah, let's start from scratch here. Let's talk about all the statistics behind the survivors. As you can see here, each one of them gets their own health, of course, stamina. This can all be upgraded. But what's really important about a survivor is the morale, because they will leave your base, literally walk out of your base if they're pissed off enough. And as you can see, her morale here is stable, so that's pretty good. And they go on to say morale represents how happy your people are. If someone becomes frustrated, again, they may leave. But as you can see, their morale is also dependent on who is around them. So they like being around Iman and Allison, and they really take to a water outpost as well. And they like the workshop. So having those things will boost her morale, and upgrading those things, keeping them in top shape, will boost that morale. And then also, what's really neat is each character has kind of this backstory to them as well. She's an auto detailer, so she gets a morale bonus from the auto shop. She's a rifle collector. She says, I had examples from every era in American history, and I fired every single one. So that's basically her backstory. And she has a high pain threshold, so she gets plus 50% fighting experience rate, plus 30 max health. So she is very tough for sure. But that's not all. She also is about to specialize in sharpshooting. Well, she has specialized a little bit in sharpshooting, and she's really good at her firearms as well as close combat. Again, all these skills over here that you see are different per survivor, and it's all randomly generated. So you may never be able to. So as you know, you might not be able to play with that character. It might be a completely different character in your world. So that's going to be exciting again to hop into that co-op. By the way, we're looking at the map of State of Decay 1 here. There's going to be 3 maps in State of Decay 2 this size, so keep that in mind. That's going to be really, really cool. Next up, we have, yes, those specializations. So right here, you are able to choose 2 specializations once you upgrade. I believe this is the endurance that we've upgraded all the way. So you're now able to choose between 2 of those. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. So you can either go with close combat or endurance. So this is going to improve fighting with melee weapons. So the choice is yours as you rank up. But you're going to have to be careful because some of your characters will get the blood plague virus. This is a big deal. He only has 102 minutes before he dies. So you're going to want to have your base all prepared with a cure. You're going to want to have blood samples, and you're going to need a doctor that knows what's what. So going out into the world and finding these characters is going to be a tough job, and sometimes you may get lucky. You will definitely be losing a survivor or 2. You know, I was streaming State of Decay the other day, and I lost one of my core survivors, and I was devastated. I was like, oh man, oh well, one less mouth to feed, I guess. I don't know. You just got to deal with it and move on. And then next up, you know, he is a hero, so he's pretty upgraded, but he's really good at keeping people happy through his party planning. And this was kind of important in the first State of Decay. There wasn't exactly parties that you planned, but what you could do is you could make a big feast, you could make meals, make the morale go up at your base, and he looks like he's going to be an expert at keeping people happy. You may have seen the show Lost. Hugo was the guy that kept people happy. It was important for morale. He would make the golf course. He would do stuff for the group. And that's basically the same difference in State of Decay 2. Next up, he also has weaknesses, so you got to consider that. Sure, he's great at keeping people happy. Maybe he's good at parties, but he is a liability in that he does have that asthma. So his stamina will go down a lot faster, and he has negative 20 in his stamina as well. So kind of being sick like that at the end of the world, I guess you would say, is not a good thing. But he does definitely have his bonuses and purpose in the community, which I think is really cool to see some of these characters with their weaknesses and strengths for sure. Next up, this is his specialization in gunslinging. So what's really cool about this is he's able to snap to targets while aiming. So that's a huge deal for him. So once you specialize in combat, or it's gunslinging, I believe it is, you will be able to unlock that ability with your shooting. So some characters are going to get specializations in melee combat, for example. Some characters are going to get specializations in long distance shooting. What are you guys going to go for? You know, ammo is kind of scarce in this zombie apocalypse, so that's going to be tough. I personally would want to go for melee specializations. Plus, you get to unlock some really cool moves as well, and they said that there's a ton of close quarters moves in this game. So what do we have next? This is another example. This is what I was just talking about. So if you specialize in endurance, you get a new move. It's a slam attack. So by pressing LB plus X on Xbox One, you will perform this epic slam move like a WWE wrestler in the zombie apocalypse and just take out all those zombies in that way. So again, it's your choice, whatever you want to specialize in. And basically the way you work up to a specialization is just play the game. You know, if you really want that special move and you know that that is a possibility, you're going to want to get out in the open world and just kill some zombies with whatever melee weapon you have. It's kind of like Skyrim in that way, and of course the first State of Decay, and then you will be eventually rewarded with choosing a specialization. Next up, yeah, she looks like she is in trouble. She is sick. She is not good. I think she has like several different things wrong with her, like a concussion they described and stuff like that. And she's exhausted. So you do have to consider when you're going out in the open world with your characters to basically let them rest after a little while, or their stamina will like permanently decrease and you will be screwed. But what's really cool about this shot is that a lot of these characters have bonuses directly related to the home base. So she has the utilities here, and it unlocks hydroponics and boosts power and water duration. So she has knowledge of the systems that the base really requires, and she's a super important character in that regard for sure. So the home base is kind of like the center of the whole game in a way. I love that. I love building my home base in the zombie apocalypse for sure. Next up, this tells her backstory. So this is Allison's backstory. She was actually a janitor back in the day before the zombie apocalypse hit. And it does affect skills. I'm hoping that that tells us exactly what that affects. I believe that's going to be related to perhaps base building in a way. She had a paper route as well, and this affects skills as well. And then, this is funny detail. So she kept her smartphone, and she's made fun of for doing that, but she does say, this is really important, that she kept it because it has all of her family photos on it, so it's kind of really important to her history. I don't know why people would make fun of her for it. That's pretty terrible, isn't it? Alright, so, also we have Ben here, and it describes his community standing, of course, and his hero bonus is known as setting the pace. So when he moves fast, other people step it up to stay with me. So basically increases the speed of everyone around him. That is super helpful for sure. So next up, what else do we have, guys? Let's do it. So this is really cool. This is telling that, again, she is fighting an infection. Of course, her stamina is a little bit low, and you're going to have to recover stamina again by resting at the base. Having enough beds is going to be extremely important, like the previous State of Decay. You cannot neglect the beds in State of Decay because the morale will just plummet at the base and you are pretty much screwed. But it also tells her injuries here. So she's got a concussion, sprained ankle, damage taken is increased. So she is in trouble and she's fighting an infection. So will she make it? Maybe not. Who knows? Next up. Yeah, so she really specializes, again, in sharpshooting. They described her as being really good with the sniper rifle. So it makes sense that you would want her to be on an outpost at the base. With that sniper rifle, that was one thing you could do in the first State of Decay, is really focus on, you know, the outpost and clearing out zombies by having, like, a sniper nest. Now, her history includes that she's an auto detailer, rifle collector, and again, she has a high pain threshold. We did already go over that. So those are her traits, again, all randomly, procedurally generated. Now, as for him, he was a shop teacher, and this gives a morale bonus from an upgraded workshop, and he loved to hunt. He says, I wasn't necessarily the best shooter, but I loved my time out in the woods with friends. And he has a crazy metabolism. Now, this can be really good. He gets plus 45 in max stamina, which is huge, but plus 100% food consumed per day, which is absolutely insane. He loves to eat food, so that's going to be kind of a liability to your food stash. So remember that one. That is going to be tough to manage. It's cool to see that dynamic kind of introduced into State of Decay 2. Imagine having like 5 survivors or something like that that have that type of metabolism. You'd be pretty much screwed. You probably want to exile one of them. I don't know if that can actually happen. I'm hoping the system is a little bit more balanced than that with the procedural stuff. But it's going to be cool to go online again and compare survivors. Maybe someone's going to have something super unique. I do hope that they have this, you know, rank emblem that's appearing there. I loved the UI in the first State of Decay. But anyway, guys, that's it for the latest happenings around State of Decay 2. An amazing progression system for the survivors. And then again, you'll eventually choose a leader that will, you know, oversee everything in the community, giving bonuses dependent on if they're a builder, you know, warlord, or what have you, a trader. So I'm curious to see what you guys go with. They recommended warlord. It seemed like warlord, excuse me, would be a popular choice. But guys, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned here to Open World Games for more State of Decay 2. Remember, May 22nd, we're going to be having a party here on Open World Games when that releases, doing co-op sessions and all sorts of cool stuff, and experimenting with joining like random players' games and stuff. But thanks, guys. I will see you later, and soon enough in the zombie apocalypse.